Hello and welcome to Genesis Training. This is your trainer Kaustav. The topic of this video is simple interest and compound interest, and the subtopic that we'll be handling in this video is called comparison between SI and CI. A very common doubt amongst a lot of people. So let's get started. The main difference between simple interest and compound interest is that in simple interest the principal always stays constant, and in compound interest it keeps on getting updated. For example, we can actually start the examples with the question itself. Find the simple interest and compound interest for a principal of 100 rupees at the rate of 10% for a period of 4 years. Let's first start with simple interest. Simple interest we all know is PTR by 100. P is 100, time is 4 years, rate is 10%, that is 10 by 100. That is equal to 40. This is the simple interest. Now let's find the compound interest. We'll do it with the flowchart method, not the direct formula. So we start with 100. This first increases by 10%, that is 10. This plus this is 110. Now this increases by 10%, that is 11. This plus this is 121. This increases by 10%, that is 12.1. This plus this is 133.1. This increases by 10%. This is the last one because first year, second year, third year and fourth year. 10% of this is 13.31. This gets added over here. We get 146.41. This is the final amount. So the compound interest is 146.41 minus 100, that is 46.41. So for the same data, simple interest was 40, compound interest was 46.41. So obviously compounding is a better deal when it comes to investments. That is why compound interest is very famously known as the eighth wonder of the world. Let's move on. Question number 2. Find the amount on the sum of 20,000 after 3 years if the simple interest rate offered for first, second and third year were 15%, 10%, 6% respectively. Now the point to be noted over here is this is in simple interest. That means we can just find the total rate by just adding all the rates. We have 15%, 10% and 6%. That is nothing but 31%. So the final amount will be 20,000 plus 31%. 31% of 20,000 is 6200. This plus this is 26200. Answer is C. Let's move on. Question number 3. You may feel that question number 2 and question number 3 are the same, but in question number 2 it was simple interest, and question number 3 it's the same data but with compound interest. Let's see how the numbers vary. We have 20,000 as the principal value. This first increases by 15%. 15% of 20,000 is 3,000. This gets added over here. We have 23000. Then this increases by 10%. 10% of this is 2300. This plus this is nothing but 25300. And then this increases by 6%. This 6. Now you don't have to actually solve this. 6% of 25300 is nothing but 253 into 6. Let's find the units please. 3 into 6 is 18. So the final answer has to end with an 8. That means Bravo and Charlie, B and C, both of them are wrong. So the answer is either A or D. Now A is definitely wrong because it starts with 23,000 and here itself we have crossed 25,000. So everything is gone. Answer is D. This is how you use elimination method in your favor. You get the answer without really calculating. So what's the difference between SI and CI of the same data? The simple interest was 26200 and the compound interest is 26818. Again, compound interest proved to be a better deal. That is why it is compounding. Let's move on. Question number 4. The compound interest on a certain sum for 2 years at 10% per annum is 525. The simple interest on the same for double the time and half the rate per annum is what? Okay, let's do it. How to find the principal when compound interest is given? We let the principal be 100. Okay, now this first increases by 10%. It's given over here 10%. 10% of 100 is 10. This plus this is 110. Then this again increases by 10%. Twice because 2 years. This is 11. 11 plus this is 121. So the compound interest is nothing but 121 minus 100. That is equal to 21. Now all we have to do is solve it using the unitary method. We have the compound interest and we have the principal. When the compound interest was 21, the principal was 100. So when the compound interest is 525, the principal will be how much? That is P. So all we do is cross multiply. We have P equals 525 into 100 divided by 21. That is equal to 2500. This is the principal. It's not the final answer. Many people end up marking A as the answer, but this is the principal. Okay. Now they have asked what is the simple interest on the same sum for double the time and half the rate. Simple interest is PTR by 100. Principal is 2500. Double the time. Time over here was 2 years. So double the time will be 4 years into half the rate. Rate was 10%. So it will become 5% by 100. This one and this one gone. 25 into 4 is 100. 100 into 5 is 500. Answer is B. Done. The main thing to take away from this question is how to find the principal when compound interest is given. Everybody knows how to find the principal when simple interest is given. But how to find the principal when compound interest is given, that is something that not a lot of people are familiar with. I hope you understood it here. Let's move on. A sum doubles itself in 3 years under SI. How many years will it take to become 8 times? Let's do this. Here, the principal becomes 2 times in 3 years. That means it increases by 1 time in 3 years. So every 3 years it increases by 1 time. That means it will increase by 2 times in 6 years. It will increase by 3 times in 3 into 3, that is 9 years. And they have told it will become 8 times. In how many years will it become 8 times? That means it increases by 7 times. So it has to increase by 7 times. That will happen in 3 into 7, that is 21 years. Increasing by 7 times, that means it becomes 8 times in 21 years. Alright, that is how simple interest works. Simple interest always is a linear graph like this. The simple interest increases as exponentially as the time increases, but compound interest increases exponentially like this. Let's do the next question. You'll understand it better. So for the same data under simple interest, it took 21 years. Let's see in compound interest, it will take how long? The same thing but under CI. We already know the shortcut for this. The sum doubles itself. The principal becomes 2 times in 3 years. So the principal will become 2 power 3 times, that is 8 times in 3 into 3, that is 9 years. Because of the shortcut which goes like this. P equals becomes 2 power n times in 3n years. That is the shortcut. So for the sum to become 8 times, for compound interest it took 9 years, and for simple interest it took 21 years. That is why people love compound interest so much. 8th wonder of the world? No joke. And that was the comparison between simple interest and compound interest. It's safe to say that compound interest increases the money, the value of the money, much faster than simple interest does. This was all for this video. Thank you so much.